I had a wonderful impact team and wonderful impact experience, but my particular team had a member from CIE, a member from the libraries, and a member from ITAP. And they were great about listening to all of my hopes for my course, listening to the problems that I was having with my course. They offered solutions that they came up with on their own. They shared solutions that had worked for other instructors. And they were great about showing me how my course could fit in with the goals of the whole university and how it could better serve my client departments. I have mostly liberal arts students in Stat 113, and they could talk to me about what those departments might be looking for, and through the faculty learning communities, I could talk with members of those departments and find out what they were doing with statistics later on in their courses, and so I could bring those concepts in earlier for my students and have a more continuous experience for the students with statistics over their time here at Purdue. Some of my best conversations were with Rosie Clausen from the political science department. She was in my faculty cohort for impact, and when we would have discussions, I would hear about the issues she was having with her course, which was a much higher level than my course. But I have quite a few political science students in Stat 113, and so we could share resources, we could have discussions and figure out ways to introduce those concepts earlier for her political science students, but in a way that would be more meaningful to them later when they take her class. We look at statistics from multiple sources, from Fox News, from the Colbert Report, from MSNBC, from journal articles, from textbook stories, and we compare the sources. We look at advertisements, we look at political claims, and we discuss the sources of bias that could be present, what we're not being told about the statistics. We talk about what lurking variables might be involved, what questions we would love to ask the researcher if we could sit the researcher down. And then we allow the students to talk about whether the statistics can be trusted. We also talk about when they go to collect their own information. You know, if they have their own research question, how do they get information to help answer their own questions? And how do they write appropriate conclusions about the information that they've gathered? I want to empower students. I don't want them to be afraid of numbers. I don't want them to be afraid of sources of authority that are presenting the numbers. I want them to feel comfortable asking questions. I want them to know it's okay to have doubts about the information and to look to other sources if they don't feel like all of their questions are being answered. I want them to be able to collect information on their own if they have questions, and I want them to feel confident that there are better ways and not so good ways of collecting that information.